You can shade a cube like a pro. So in my last video, I taught you guys how to draw a perfect cube. So let's learn how to shade it. To map the shadow, start off by drawing a vertical line. The bottom of this line will represent its location, and its length shows the height above the ground. From the top, draw 4 lines that connect to the top corners of the cube, and from the bottom, 4 lines that connect to the bottom corners of the cube. And now, we can use where these 4 lines intersect to map out the shadow. Now, we can crop the canvas, increase the resolution, and start rendering the cube. To start rendering the cube, we can begin by tracing the outside of the cube with a straight line selection tool and filling it in with a solid color. And then, on a new layer, create a selection of the surface that is facing the light, fill it in with a brighter color and clip to the layer below, and do the same for the top. To create the background, simply use the gradient tool with a dark grey and then fill the layer below with a light grey to help separate the cube from the surface. Draw underneath the cube layers with a black line, apply a Gaussian blur, and then adjust the opacity to your liking. And then, to slightly round off all the corners, we can trace over it with a dark line, and then colour it a grey that is somewhere between the brightest grey and the darkest grey on the cube. And then finally, use the airbrush tool to add a highlight to the front edge. To add some more detail to the shadow, we can apply a Gaussian blur to the part that is furthest away from the cube, and then blend this blur so that it gets sharper the closer it gets to the cube. And then to add some subtle reflections to the cube, we can reflect the angle where the shadow is and add a highlight, and then create a reflection on the surface. And there it is.